So thank you, Kelly. Thanks for that lovely introduction. Much appreciated. So let's embody. How do we describe embodiment? So in metaphysical terms, it's anchoring higher frequencies of your very being into the physical reality. So becoming fully yourself, living in integrity with your beliefs. But to do that, we really need to do an overhaul of our lives. So in a simpler term, it's best described as a transformation. So letting go of low vibrational habits and patterns, thought processes, even situations, and therefore living in integrity, in joy, in abundance, causing no harm, first to yourself, to others, nature, and all living beings. When we say living or anchoring higher frequencies, it never means that we float out in the space. We do need to remain grounded, which is Kelly has done for us just before. So we're not letting go of grounding, but we're letting go of emotions like fear and confusion. So the embodiment in short terms is becoming your soul self. The embodiment is becoming your soul self. It really is an individual responsibility. So once we embody the 4 expressions of awakening leadership as an individuals, we then transpire that into our work and into the society. So I've got a nice quote from Jim Morrison, who I have a close spiritual connection with. He is actually one of my spiritual guides. I know Kelly's laughing because she thought it was very funny when I first told her that. So Jim Morrison once said there can't be any large-scale revolution until there's a personal revolution on an individual level. It's got to happen inside first, and the embodiment does come from the inside. It's transforming your very being into your soul self. So I will take us through each of the 4 expressions and just talk from my personal experience and how to embody each expression in everyday life. Embodying of nature. So whatever we do, we should think if it's for the greatest good of all and if this includes nature. Simple things like sustainability. We all know about eliminating plastic, recycling, recycling not just waste, but pretty much every item that we use in our daily lives and in our business life, it can be recycled. Clothes, tools, household items, and so on. So sustainability is probably the easiest thing to implement and start from in everyday life as well as in a workplace and home office. Conscious consumerism, it really brings us to the respect of all life. So by conscious consumerism, I mean eliminating or reducing meat and dairy, buying ethical products that are cruelty-free. And these days you can find everything from cosmetics to house cleaners, stationery. Also thinking about ethically produced items when it comes to human labor and human slavery, because there's also a really big issue in our society with that. So not being afraid to ask questions about the company, where the products come from, how they're getting produced and manufactured, doing a bit of a research when you purchase in certain items, and so on. Taking it even to further and to the next level, deciding on your financial institutions, so banking, superannuation, Who are they supporting? How are they investing your money? Does that align with your values and your morals? Being in tune with nature and cosmic energies. So this is probably my favorite one, and I would absolutely love to see this in a new paradigm being implemented on a larger scale in everyday lives, but as well in the businesses. So being in tune with nature, following the moon cycles. Then again, being in tune with cosmic energies, we've all heard and know about Mercury retrograde, for example, and we all freak out how, the communication's going to go awry, and travel and logistics and all that. But what exactly that means, it's we're not flowing with those energies, we're actually going against them. Retrograde, and all of the planets go retrograde at least once or twice a year. So retrograde actually means retreat, relax, rejuvenate. During those periods, we were supposed to go within, to slow down, to relax, rejuvenate and reflect. But because of this modern society and the way we live our lives, we're on a constant go. So we're not allowing those periods for integration and reflection. So how fun it would be if companies, for example, have the planetary calendar or planetary schedule when they organizing their activities and their workflow. Sorry, I'm just learning my way around between the slides and just being on the screen and talking to you all directly. Okay, so let's move to embodying the expression of love. Love as a state of being, not a feeling. It's a reflection of maintaining higher vibrations. Because if you are love, you can't be anything else. So you can't be hate, you can't be fear, you can't be anger, and you certainly cannot be judgment. You can only be love, and love loves. Weaving love into everyday life is simply absence of judgment. It means that you are taking things as they are without labeling and without analyzing, but rather using discernment by feeling into those energies and moving away from the energies that don't reflect pure love. Doing so without judgment. If it doesn't feel loving, you simply move away without any judgment. Let it go and navigate towards energies with loving vibes. Okay, so how do we embody love first in our daily lives and then in the way we conduct business? So I've got 3 examples: inclusiveness, creating space for expression, and then a really high one, which is ahimsa. It's Sanskrit terms for non-violence. Inclusiveness speaks for itself. Everyone should be included equally. And that inclusiveness would then lead creating that space for expression. So how loving does it feel when someone holds a space for you to freely express your ideas, your visions, your talents and your gifts without any judgment, without any criticism. So I've got a few images here. The first one where a bunch of us are forming a heart. So I just sort of thought that that image really speaks for itself, that people coming together bring that loving space for individual expression. So this was an event called Peace Pledge Project in Assisi, Italy. 2 years ago, I was representing Unity Earth at that event. The event was about spreading the message of peace and unity. And Assisi is a home of Saint Francis, who was actually cultivating that ideology a long, long time ago. So we had over 100, I think that was about 120 different representatives from different religions, different backgrounds, different countries, different ages. And yeah, the energies were absolutely amazing, having all those people coming together in a space of love and unity. I find that the expression of love comes the most through my work in yoga, where I teach and I pass the knowledge of yoga to my students and clients, to see them grow, not just with their physical abilities, but also how their spiritual self grows as well, and how their life transforms through that growth. My work with Jeff and Yanni is also a huge expression of love, and I will give credit to Jeff and acknowledge, because he's, yeah, an embodiment of pure love, and when working with him, he holds that space you know, in a very high state, and so nicely. So inclusiveness and creating space for expression naturally will lead to that highest expression of love, that it's called ahimsa. So ahimsa stands for non-violence, but it actually take it to the highest level. When we talk about non-violence, it includes our thoughts. So from actually not harming yourself or the others in a physical way, it acknowledges the power of our thoughts. So thinking angry thoughts towards someone, or resentment or jealousy, it does transpire that energy into the world. It is an expression and embodiment that, yeah, I'm still learning to to accept fully, and to train myself in it. So it does take a bit of a work to get to that level, and to be disciplined to just watch your thoughts constantly. Okay, let's move on to service. Embodiment of service. Living and working your mission / purpose. I will use term mission because for me, our work and sharing our gifts and talents is a mission. Purpose to me means our purpose is to be. Our purpose is to actually be those 4 expressions, and to maintain those highest frequencies, which is then looking after the greatest good of all, including raising the frequencies of our planet. So let's use that word mission. Working, living and working in your mission, your whole life becomes service. By doing what you love, sharing your gifts, you are at service to the world. It opens you up to the energy of abundance. And I don't mean just financial abundance. For me, abundance is abundance of opportunities, connections, and places. You're actually in a flow. Everything comes to you. There's no chasing anymore. Serving the world through those higher frequencies you speak and act from integrity and love. And that has to transpire through your work. So there's no separate, you can no longer be a role or play a role in your job and thinking, oh, this is just work, I'm just going to push through for money. That's actually resisting your soul self. Maintaining those higher frequencies and maintaining that embodiment of service becomes priority. Coming back to opening yourself to the energy of abundance, you will find that receiving monetary award becomes easier and free-flowing. And how do you know that you are embodying service? You actually do it with joy. So what you do, your work becomes joy. So my work with Unity Earth, I do see it as a huge service to the world and humanity. But some of the examples of the embodiment of service would be, as I mentioned, engaging in work or activities that bring you joy, but also benefiting others and the planet, practicing loving kindness towards yourself and others, and your life becomes your service. So Unity Earth does events globally. We have connected many organizations across the globe into like this huge networking pool. But we've also, in a process, exposed people to different cultures. So we held events in Thailand, India, Ethiopia, New York, here in Australia. So many places around the world, and attendees and participants sometimes would never even thought about going to those places and learning about that particular culture if it wasn't for event that Unity Earth was working on. So as you can see here, we've got a mixture of different cultures, different people coming together, learning about each other, and learning about different cultures. So I've got a little bit more of real life picture and how it looks when we work with Unity Earth and when we do these events around the globe. So this picture here in the middle was from Jerusalem. So we took 95 delegates through the Holy Land, through Jordan, Israel, and Palestine. And it was really funny. A friend was driving me to the airport to go to Israel. And on the way to the airport, he said, "Oh, are you feeling nervous?" And I said to him, "I don't think I feel nervous enough considering that I'm going to be taking 95 people through the war zone." But once again, working or being in service and working on your mission, there is a certain divine protection. So talking about abundance, that comes under that umbrella. You are protected. We had no problems whatsoever. We had to go through the Jordan-Israeli border twice. We just went through it swiftly, smoothly. There was no hiccups whatsoever. And that's usually that's what happens with every single event. There will be challenges and obstacles, but once we're there and once everyone is together, the energies amplify so much and they are raised so high. There's a thick layer of divine protection. So once again, just to point out how many different people, how many different cultures, how many different ages, languages, backgrounds come together, and we sort of come in union, we come in unison for the same purpose, for the same mission and for the greatest good of all. So it's like a snapshot of what our world and society should and will look like. And that does open us to the abundance. So the event that we held in Ethiopia, if I do get time, I would like to play a little video from that event. It's only 1 minute. So when we held that event in Ethiopia, the next day we found ourselves on the front page of the Ethiopian Herald. Like, we did not even know how it came about, but at the breakfast in the hotel, someone pulled out paper, and here we are on the front page. Embodiment of the heart. Physical embodiment happens through heart's magnetic field. It allows love to radiate from your heart space. We probably know that heart space expands through nature, joy, connection with others, creativity. So really any activities that you can bring into your daily life as well as in your business that include these will assist with opening your heart space, and it'll assist through that embodiment in the heart's magnetic field. So just for a moment, I would like to talk a little bit about the difference between heart and brain, because sometimes to fully embody through your heart space, we do need to let go of that constant thinking and let go of the brain. Heart allows us to feel the way through, to engage our soul self as a guide. So intuition is the best example. Brain is generally a problem solver. So to engage brain alone or to constantly think, it means that we actually looking for problems to solve where they may not be any. Rather than engaging our intuition to guide us through. So engaging brain alone will block that process of the embodiment through the heart space. Listen to your heart, use your brain to find solution, to find the way forward. So brain should be quickly processing the next step or finding the ideas how to move forward, but then you come back to your heart and you come back to the center and your soul self. So there's a really quick and fun little meditative exercise that I usually practice where I quickly need to come back to my heart. So you come into the meditative state, closing your eyes, finding your breath and peace within. And then you see a little bridge from your brain down into your heart. Then you visualize in symbolic and a fun way that your brain actually walks down to your heart. Brain and heart merge together. They merge in the heart space and they work together from the heart space. Okay, I'm almost there. So how do we get there? How do we get into that full embodiment? For me personally, healing was playing a huge part in the embodiment to occur. And I know that healing is a whole, subject on its own, but I'll just make up 3 main points that I went through in my personal healing. So letting go of old beliefs. So I mentioned that a little bit in the beginning. So the thought patterns, the low vibrational habits, patterns, emotions. So when you let go of all that, of your old beliefs and habits, patterns, you being less triggered, which means you able to act rather than react. Healing your emotional body. For me, healing my emotional body was through meditation, solitude, and creativity. Healing your physical body, for me personally, was through changing my diet completely. So food and yoga or slash exercise. So the healthier your body is, and that includes all of your bodies, your physical and all of your energetic bodies, the healthier your body is, the stronger the connection with your soul. So removing the toxins from your physical body and your energetic body will bring you back to the natural state of being, your true nature and your soul self. What is the outcome of that, or what is the end result? Living in joy, bliss, love, and abundance. Being in neutral state of being, so non-duality, meaning taking each moment as it is. Sometimes that non-dual state can feel emotionless. That's how I actually became aware that I am in neutral state. It kind of took me aback the first time when I became aware of it, and I thought, did I lose my emotions? But no, you actually eliminating those low vibrational emotions and you're experiencing spectrum of joy. Listening to your heart, meaning using your intuition, using discernment, and sound judgment, which is non-fear. So observing sound judgment versus fear. So how do we describe embodiment? Embodiment is becoming your soul self.
Thank you,
Thank
Irina.
you.